off my notes here. So the chapter stated that the most critical element in school a dyslexic child attends is the climate. It talked about how the climate, how they view themselves as a learner, their self-esteem, and their sense of empowerment, all having to do with that. One of the examples they gave was how in a school with a good climate, the staff has the knowledge of dyslexia, and the teachers would know that even if a student knows the answer, they may not be able to retrieve the correct words and would not make them feel bad about this. Another example that they gave in the chapter was a dyslexic student needing to request extra time on a test, and they had to ask every time. They gave an example of a student being nervous and forgetting to ask for extra time, and that a school without a good climate would deny it to the student and counted the grade. And I have to be honest, most of my experience is in lower elementary school, and I have many times given students extra time for a test, whether they had a documented disability or not, especially when I know that they know the material and they've been in class and things like that, and that it may just have been an issue of time. I've later pulled them in a small group to reread directions and just give them a little more time. So that's something I've done. The chapter also talked about how some parents want to put their dyslexic child in a private school or independent school. I've worked in 2 charter schools, and I do think that some people tend to think when they hear charter schools, they always think it's a better option, especially when I would tell friends or family members that I work there. I've just kind of come to realize that people who are not in the education world really have no idea what a charter school is. And so I think from a parent's perspective, they can think sending their child to a charter school may be better for them, but a lot of times it's not. The classes are often overfull and they do not always have the best resources, and it can have a higher turnover rate when they're run by management companies far away from the actual school. This is just something that I've personally seen. Personally, when working in charter school in a more urban setting and the management company was far away, the staff there from the management company, really had no idea what we dealt with on a daily basis as a teacher there, or what our students' needs really were. The chapter did also mention specialized schools, but I don't personally know anyone whose child had or has dyslexia and has attended one. And then it did talk about how a public school will allow the child to interact with a diverse group of children. And I do think this is important also. Depending on the school, public school, any school, if they use a good research-based program like Orton Gillingham, this will be helpful for a dyslexic student. I have been partially trained on this, and I have implemented some of those strategies into my teaching.